But my brothers, my sisters, turn away from anything that ain't him. Because when he do what he do it righteously. There is no flaw or no area in error in nothing that he does. I remember running across, reading across the scriptures when Yeshua HaMashiach said, I come in the volume of the book, for the book is about me. He said the book is about him. He said, look at the beginning, you will see me. Look at Revelation, you'll see me. It's all about him. When he showed up, all of him that could show up, and they wrote the letters concerning about what he did and what he said, was already spoken of in the scriptures, the scroll. Was already talked about. It's so sweet, it's so amazing. And we can talk all day. We can go through things all day and discuss. And then all into the next year, until he show up. The task is a great task to study. The footsteps of HaMashiach. Whether it was when he bore all transgressions on the tree, on the stake, or he's just walking down through 42 generations showing himself. He was the teacher that taught Moses in the mountain. How? HaMashiach. HaMashiach was Yahweh's only begotten Son. And do you know you can't separate them? So get rid of the Trinity. Because when you really study, you can't divide. You can't separate the Father from the Son, or the Son from the Father. You can't separate his Ruach Kodesh from neither one of them. All of them is inseparable. They say, well, everything's going to come to an end on certain date, certain time. Only my Father knows that. And then when he said, my Father, he was right there. He was right there when it started because it was him. In the beginning was the Alpha and the Tau. Go to Revelation, you see the same statement. But I'm just glad to be back here because we're coming back with just a talk. We're coming back so that some of these things can be released to those that are searching. He told me years ago, your forward journey leads backwards. Back into the scrolls and the scriptures and get beyond a certain king that took his scrolls and did them his way. People, you have to do what he said do. You have to study. There are going to be a lot of sad people, hurting people in the hour that he stand up and come back. And he's going to come back. He's going to come back just like my brother looked for him to come in the beginning. He was a suffering Savior, bore the sins, healed, and did all that the prophet said he would do, and some. But his next coming, I think, is going to be a arranged thing, where he shall teach the Torah. He's giving us the chance to make the adjustments and to adapt to his lifestyle. His lifestyle will not diminish and come down to man. For when he came down to man, he came in the fullness of his Father's will. Not to move a jot or tittle, but to put the dot where it's supposed to be, cross the T, and make the lifestyle to his fullness, to explain everything. The talk with Nicodemus. Nicodemus, you're a ruler. You should know these things about being born again. And if we search, there is really nothing new. The reason I said there is really nothing new, because everything that has happened to this moment, predestination, if you study close enough, you see. If you listen to even people that have studied, you'll see. And all will come together. But I come to you today just for some little scriptures about him in the volume of the book. We're going to go to Matthew. We're going to go to Matthew 11, chapter 27, verse. It says, in other words, all have been handed over to me. My Father gave me all that he had, and all that was here. And I come to fulfill, to make the plan like he meant it to be. As they would say, the icing on the cake and the ice cream and all the fixings that go with a celebration upon it. My Father gave it all to me. I don't have to change this rock to bread, for I know that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of my Father's mouth. Out of my Father's mouth. And I'm going to tell you every word that proceedeth out of my Father's mouth. I ain't going to deviate to the right or deviate to the left. I'm coming straight. And you know, we're going to talk about that before it slips my mind. I'm going to tell you something else. The Ruach of Yah, the Ruach Kodesh will not go to the right or go to the left. He's going to tell you everything that Hamashiach, the righteous Messiah, said. I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to get all hostile and sweating and stuff and get all mad and all that like that. I don't have to. If I want to speak firm, I'll tell you it is mandatory. It is mandatory that we do the Torah, that we learn the Torah, and in the Torah we find salvation. Because the Torah points out the error of life and shows us how to come above the error. And what to do, how to walk like Yah, how to talk like Yah, how to speak, see, hear, and do what Yah said do. I'm not going to fight at you about what name you're calling. I use the name Yah. I use the name Yahweh. I use the name Et HaMashiach, Yeshua, because there's only one. There's only one. And they are inseparable. My Father gave me everything. All of it's in my hands. And eventually I'm going to stand as a ruler, and I'm going to teach the Torah and the lifestyle of the Torah, and you're going to live and do the lifestyle of the Torah as if you want to be with him throughout eternity. Because this Shabbat, in eternity, the lifestyle, in eternity, the walk, in eternity, the talk, in eternity. Everything that he teaches us to do is going to be used in the life to come. That's sweet to me. because I'm going to practice